Hey everyone, welcome back to Wealth Be Hers. This is Dr. Felecia Froe, your host. And remember, we are sponsored by Money with Mission, whose vision is every woman should have the financial ability to walk away from any job or relationship that is not in her best interest. And today, I have a special guest, and I'm excited to talk to Dr. Laquore Meadows, who is a wealth strategist, educator, and visionary CEO and co-founder of Invest to Give and Stocks and Sorors. From poverty to PhD, she has used the stock market to radically reshape her financial future and helped professionals across the globe do the same. She's a #1 best-selling author of Income on Demand, an international speaker. She is on a mission to normalize wealth in communities of color and equip new investors to generate income on demand through stock and options trading. She is ranked in the top 16% of traders for performance and profitability on TradeStation. She brings data-driven, real-world approach to financial empowerment. Dr. Meadows received her bachelor's degree from Tennessee State University, master's in college student personnel from Miami University, and a doctorate in higher education administration from The Ohio State University. You have some fun with that. Dr. Meadows is a trailblazer on a relentless mission to build a bridge between aspiring investors and their financial goals. She will continue to utilize her passion for the stock market to encourage others to leverage stock and options trading as an opportunity to generate income on demand and promote the intergenerational wealth transfer. I had a really good time on this conversation. She talks about something that I don't understand a lot, and so it was good. I really had a good time. I hope you enjoy it. Remember, if you have not subscribed to this podcast, help me understand why. Send me a message. Let me know why you haven't subscribed. Or if you just rather hit the subscribe button, that's so much easier. But I really would like to know why you haven't if you haven't. And while you're sending that message about why you haven't, let me know what you would like to hear or see that would get you to subscribe. If you listen or watch on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And I just really appreciate that you guys are out there listening. We do have something special coming up next year in March, end of March. So just mark your calendars, March 25th through 29th, for women out there looking to get away. The end of spring, beginning of spring, in Dominica, we're going to have a retreat. Yes, so my first retreat. All right, you guys, enjoy this conversation with Dr. Laquore Meadows. Welcome back to Wealth Be Hers. Today I have Dr. Laquore Meadows, and this is going to be exciting. We've been talking offline, of course. You guys don't get to know that I get to talk to people before we get on camera. We're going to have some fun. Laquore, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine to be here. I'm super excited about our conversation.
I did too. Where are you located? That's one thing we didn't talk about. We got all the other stuff in the...
Absolutely. So I live officially in Columbus, Ohio, but I spend
Okay.
a lot of my time in the Atlanta, Georgia area as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. I've had cousins that lived in Columbus, Ohio, so I have been there once 100 years ago, but I
Okay.
know the place. All right.
You should come back. And while you're here, check out Cincinnati because Cincinnati is a completely different place from where it used to be.
And I've never been to Cincinnati. I have my opinions about Ohio, but
Listen, yeah, it's not the tourist destination, but
girl, I live in Oklahoma, so I have no
oh,
idea
okay.
how I get to have an attitude about a state, right?
Yes, I understand. I understand.
Right. All right, you guys, let's get to it. Tell us your money story. How did you get from day zero to where you are today? And we'll pick that apart a little bit as we go.
Ooh, that's such a great question. So, when I think about my money story, I think about the fact that I grew up in a household with lots of love, kisses, hugs, all the things. However, I did not grow up in a space where we had conversations about anything that I do today around my dinner table.
Mhm.
I was taught at a very young age that education was important, that it was the one thing that no one could take away from you. But I was also taught that even though you get that education, never buy or spend beyond your means. Okay.
Mhm.
Which that's critically important. However, what I was not told was how to make more means so that you could buy, spend, and enjoy life, you know? So lots of love, but very much in a space where there was restrictions around spending.
Mhm.
Also, another thing that I remember very vividly was my mother and my aunt. And I tell this story often when I'm working with clients, and I tell them that it was literally a race between them, between who could get the most credit cards. So I'm gonna date myself with this. All right, I'm gonna date myself, but I don't know if anyone remembers the little plastic, like little things where you would slide pictures in
Huh?
and you could
Yes.
put credit cards in.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
my mother and my aunt would use those, but it had maybe a picture of me, a couple of, maybe a picture of a cousin or so,
Good.
but everything else was filled with credit cards, right? So they would whip them out like, okay, I got 10, I got 12, right? And so I grew up really thinking that being in debt was the American way of life. My aunt actually said that to me, right? And so not only was I taught, don't spend without your means, but there was like this contradictory thing going on over here where there was spending, right, with credit cards. So with the college, thinking that was the thing to do. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Got all the credit cards in the world, right? And I say that I exchanged my credit score for a t-shirt. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I struggled mightily with that. Ultimately graduated. I think my credit score was in the 500s. But then once it came down for me to start adulting, if you will, that's when I finally figured out, okay, I need to get my life together, get this right.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. So that's interesting because I think Americans are taught that debt is good, and
Yeah.
and then when we start talking about, but no, debt's not good except some debt, and then it gets very confusing to people. But the credit cards, I've
Mhm.
had the same issue in college. Credit cards, because let me buy some shoes. I have a credit card.
Right. Easy, right? It's easy to swipe. And there's even a neurological thing about that, right? There was a study done, or probably multiple studies by now done, around the difference between the neurology that goes on in your brain when you swipe versus when you actually pay cash, right?
Huh.
And now we don't even have to swipe, we don't even have to pull out a credit card now. We can just tap.
Take
So
your
this is
phone.
easier, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's just easy access, but also access to could be potentially some challenges later down the line if we don't know
Yes.
the right thing to do.
How did you start when you said I need to get my life together and, figure out this money thing? What was there a trigger for that besides graduating from college?
So the trigger was I needed a car.
Mhm.
And so they were looking to give me an interest rate that was astronomical. And I'm like, what is this? Like, why do I gotta pay this much money for this car? And it's old too. Like, what? And
Yeah.
so ultimately, my aunt, God bless her, she ultimately served as a co-signer for my
Okay.
vehicle because my credit score was terrible.
Yeah.
And so that was my first like hit with reality that I needed to figure this thing out. But I wasn't taught about that, but I started to learn and figure things out from there.
Going through college, what were you studying?
Yeah, so I initially, so when I was little, okay, going back to childhood, I wanted to become Dr. J, right? That's what my family called me, all the things. Dr. J, Dr. J, Dr. J. So I started out wanting to become a physician. I actually
Okay.
wanted to be an OBGYN because I wanted to deliver babies. That was my goal. Well, when I got to college, I learned that I did not care about an amoeba. I didn't care about none of that stuff. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. And so ultimately, I switched degrees probably a good 3 times. Tried a little bit of physical therapy, did an internship at Vanderbilt, was like, oh no, I don't want that. And then ultimately landed in psychology with a minor in business.
Okay.
And that worked really well for me.
Yeah.
However, with a psychology degree, you don't always get paid really well, especially
Yeah.
out of college, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I struggled with that, but then ultimately went on to graduate school and got all the letters behind my name. And yeah, so that's where I am now.
Let me ask you, anybody in your family entrepreneur?
No.
Okay. So everybody worked W-2, you had what you needed, it sounds like, not always what you wanted, which is how
Mhm.
most of us grow up. And some of us
Absolutely.
with this idea, whether somebody says it out loud, that money is a hard thing to come by and we have to really work hard for it. And when you get it, don't spend it, put it
Mhm.
somewhere. And even our society today treats money like a scorecard, and the more money you have, the more value you have, which is something that drives me crazy, but that's a whole nother thing. Because I think you and I agree money needs to flow, and money is a tool to help you get things that
Cool.
you want to have and help
Mhm.
the rest of the world be better. Anyway, sorry,
Absolutely.
that's my soapbox. Might not be.
No, no, I 100% agree with you. It's leverage,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Yes.
way to leverage. Yeah.
Go. So you had regular jobs, like W-2 jobs, and then where did you start learning about stock market and trading and all that kind of stuff? Because that seems like a reach to me.
It is definitely a reach, right? And so there's nothing about my education to suggest that I should be in the top 16% of stock traders, like at all, like nothing.
Time
But
out. Time out, because you ran by that. Top
oh yeah,
16 of stock traders.
it is. Yes, I'm in the top 16% of stock traders in both performance and profitability
Okay.
on the broker that I use, which is TradeStation.
Okay. Perfect.
Mhm.
I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you, but I just needed people to hear that. 16.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. So, yeah, nothing about my education suggests that I should be where I am today. But what happened was something that completely changed my life. And that was I spent the majority of my career, as you just mentioned, in W-2 jobs, primarily working in higher education.
Mhm.
I started out by leaving. I was in a graduate program at the University of Cincinnati, switched over, then went into higher education. Absolutely loved it, loved everything about it. Worked at the HBCU for a while, then worked at the Ohio State University for the majority of my career.
The Ohio
And
State University. Sorry, I have to say it, Alan.
yes, absolutely. Did you go there? Okay,
Never,
okay.
never watched football, so they always said.
Okay, yes, 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 and we are national champions, right? Yes, and one beat Texas too, so that was
There you
a
go.
amazing. But yeah, so I'm like, "Oh, yes, go Bucks." Was really happy about this weekend, but so I worked at Ohio State University for a very long time, 20 plus years. And while there, I did all the things that I was told to do, right? I checked all the boxes. I got the degrees, got the fellowship, had leadership roles, all the things, but I
Mhm.
still was not in a place where I was fulfilled, right?
Okay.
I still wasn't in a place where, in several cases, that I felt respected, honestly, if I'm being real
Okay.
about this.
Okay.
I was still in a place where my color, my age, and mattered, right?
Mhm.
But not in a positive way.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I struggled. I struggled, especially towards the end there. So and then nothing against Ohio State, wonderful place to work, but the environment that I was in was very challenging.
No,
So
I feel you like that place.
I do.
What were you doing there?
Yeah, so I served in a couple of different roles, but my last role, I was actually working as a director for a Franklin County Extension office.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that was the last role.
Okay.
So at the time, and this leads into how I got into the stock market. As I was preparing to slowly transition out, I had an opportunity to meet and work closely with a very wealthy woman.
Okay.
Okay. Her name is Patricia Brundage. Love her to pieces, and she knows that I just absolutely adore her. As a part of our connection, it was my responsibility to help to cultivate a $5.3 million gift from her.
Okay.
And so during that experience, we had a chance to travel all over and, go look at because she was going to build a building with this gift if she decided to give it. We
Okay.
traveled all over looking at different buildings and going through, blueprints, all the things. And during that time, I was so inspired by the fact that she could give us 5.3 million and not blink one time. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That was like, listen, like, how did you do this? Like,
Yeah.
where did it go from? And so she informed me that she had accumulated a lot of her wealth through the stock market.
Okay.
And I'm like, I've always been interested in the stock market, but I felt like it wasn't a place for me. I
Yeah.
literally used to delete the stock app off my phone to make space, right?
Okay. Okay.
So I just didn't feel like it was for me. But I had a yearning desire within to be able to do something similar, if not even more magnificent than what she
Mhm.
was doing. And I recognized that my 9 to 5 would not cut it at
And the
all.
thing that she was doing that was inspiring to you was to give this 5.3?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So in my mind, that gift was something that would pretty much live in perpetuity.
Right.
Because I'll say rarely tears a building down, right? They're gonna fix it, they're gonna renovate it, they're gonna do all the things, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel what's gonna be there for a long time. And so I wanted to be able to do something very similar. So she told me what the plan was. And I said, say less. And so that's when I really started. First and foremost, I recognized that she gifted me something way more valuable than that $5.3 million.
Yeah.
She gave me the gift to my freedom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so as I was transitioning out of Ohio State mentally, not physically, I wasn't ready to hit that, send a resignation letter. But as I was transitioning out, I did everything I could to figure out the market.
Okay.
Taking classes, hired coaches, watching YouTube videos, traveling all over the country, going to different, at the time it was TD Ameritrade trainings. They're no
Uh-huh.
longer here in the
Uh-huh.
US. Charles Schwab purchased them. But I was doing all the things to be able to figure this out because again, I knew that my 9 to 5 wouldn't cut it, but I had this other kind of hope over here, right? If I
Mhm.
figure this out, perhaps this could be a change for me, but also not only a change for right now, but a change for my legacy as well.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I'm just back up a little bit because you said what she gave you was a gift, the gift of freedom of your time. She gave you the potential for that. She let you
Yeah,
know there was something more. You had to take the steps to make that happen. You had
yeah.
to hear it, and you were already knew you were unfulfilled in what you were doing. And maybe you were like me when I was first starting in medicine. It's like, I don't know why I'm not fulfilled. I don't get it, but I know
Mhm.
this isn't it. And
Mhm. Mhm.
then this happened, and you knew, like, oh, something inside you were like, okay, this is my thing. And
Yeah, yeah.
she did it. She didn't say my husband did it. She didn't say my dad did it. She said,
Mhm.
this is what I did,
Yes,
which
yes,
is that
absolutely.
other thing. Another woman has, oh, come on now.
Yeah.
If one woman can do it, every woman can do it. We can do this. And
Absolutely.
just hearing that is so huge. And then taking the actions to get you to where you are today. That's amazing because we can all hear stuff and never take
Mhm.
the steps to make it happen. So,
Yeah.
you guys, what I'm saying is, I know there's a lot of you out there studying, trying to figure out how to invest, trying to figure out when to invest, and yeah, those are your steps. Now you got to take that next step and actually do something. You actually have to risk some money. And yes, I said risk some money because it is a risk. And what we're
Mhm.
going to talk about is you don't take your whole pot and throw it into something. No, start little like I did
Mhm.
with crypto. And you just start doing it's like when I started investing in crypto, I had to start paying attention. And it's just like
Mhm.
I'm learning more and more and more and more. And after I've been reading on Laquore's Dr. Meadows website, just I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there's stuff here to know. Like we talked about, I'm real estate and businesses and passive income, that kind of way. And this I know very little about and always have wanted to and just haven't found the right teacher. And maybe I have now. So we're gonna talk some more.
Yay.
Yes. All right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And can I add one quick thing to that?
Absolutely.
So
Gotta stop.
I think what you said is so important. I also want to encourage anyone that's listening to do not be afraid to ask, right?
Yes.
So even though I had this experience much later in life, there was a moment when I was in undergraduate school where my accounting professor said one thing as I was walking out of class. He said, if you all start investing in the stock market right now, you'll be multimillionaires when you're ready to retire. I heard it. I heard it. And I said, okay, let me go figure this out. But I went and bought a CD.
Hmm.
So I thought that that was the market, right?
Uh-huh.
But if I would have asked, then listen, be in a whole nother stratosphere right now, right? So I just encourage anyone. Sometimes, and I know as women, right, we are like, okay, I should know this already. I should know this by now, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't, and that's okay.
Yes.
That is completely okay. So I just want to encourage everyone, in addition to what you shared so eloquently, that it's okay to ask.
Mm.
And please do, because it
Mm.
could change your life.
Everybody has to. You didn't get where you're going without a mentor. I didn't get where I am without a mentor. And I have my next steps and I will get mentors to help me along, coaches, whoever. You just need people in your corner.
Yes,
That's just it. Who can you go to? When I think about it's like, oh, this, I don't know what to do with this. Who can I call? That's the
yes.
next thing. Who can I call?
Yep. Who's your who? Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So you're inspired now to learn more about the stock market. This lady's investing $5.3 million into
Mhm.
Ohio State to build a building that's going to be there for, I'm not sorry, I said Ohio State, the Ohio State. And you're inspired that
Yes.
this is a legacy thing for her. This will be here forever with her
Yes.
name on it, probably, or whatever name she wants to be on it.
Mhm.
You're reading, you're learning, you're doing all the things. Did you have conversations with her about investing and how it worked, or did you just take what that she has done it and then learn it on your own?
Yeah, so I did. I had a conversation with her. I would invite her to lunch, and so we would sit down and talk about it. In addition to doing things on her own, she also had advisors.
Uh-huh.
So that was another thing. Going right back to what you were saying, get help, right?
Yep.
So she got help to help her to build her portfolio. So yeah, she sat down with me and taught me a lot.
Okay. So let's
Mhm.
get into some nitty gritty here. What's the difference between what you do and a 401k or that retirement fund?
Yeah. So what I do with investigative are just in general
With your
trading. Okay.
trading? Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, absolutely. So when we are looking at our 401ks, that's our retirement plans. And so we have typically managers that are managing that account actively or passively, right? And so they are responsible for selecting based off of our risk tolerance. All right. So we could be moderate risk, conservative, and so forth. They're responsible for helping us to create a portfolio that will serve us later in life. Okay.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Time out. And I just heard people go, "What? I have a risk tolerance?" Yes, you do.
Yes.
Somebody should have asked you about it, had a conversation with you about it.
So as we age, right, it is helpful for us to consider the level of risk that we're willing to assume, especially when we're investing in something that has higher levels of volatility,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So that can be stocks. But there's also other asset classes as well that exist, bonds, mutual funds, alternative investments that also can provide us with a return, but aren't as risky as others. All right. So when we think about our risk tolerance, it's helpful for us to think about, okay, what level of risk and volatility am I willing to assume? And as we age, that tends to, for some, get a little bit more conservative, right? But while we're younger, then that's when we have time on our side for there to be more ups and downs and ebbs and flows, right? Before we actually have to put that money that we're investing to work for our respective needs. Okay. So I just want to share that just in case
Yeah.
anybody was wondering, like, okay, what do I need to do?
Yes.
So
So
that,
let's talk. I just want to define risk a little bit, just in case anybody's out there is like, what do you mean the risk? The risk is that you're going
hmm,
to lose all your money.
yes,
Oh, there's
yes.
always, or some portion of your money. And
Mhm,
I know younger people who can't tolerate thinking they're going to lose their money. It's just
mhm,
a thing.
mhm.
And
Yes.
I want people to realize that money is not hard. It's comes actually, if you realize you go to work every day, money comes every time you go to
Mhm,
work, right? It's not that hard. And
mhm,
just because you guys all know I lost a whole bunch of money. I was in my 40s with a credit score of 500 because we lost all of our real estate stuff. Maybe it's my 50s. I
mhm.
can't even remember. It was bad.
Yeah,
And it comes back. You just like,
comes back.
I had to pay a 16% interest on a car because in 2010, because I had a 500 credit score. I'm like, okay, this is what I
Mhm.
got to do until I build this
Mhm.
back up because I had to have a car, had to drive.
Yeah.
And there it goes. So we worry about losing money, and that's like real. So that's why we talk about risk a little bit. And so you
Mhm.
see that losing that, if you lose it, doesn't change your life that much. It makes you
Yeah.
feel bad. It's an emotional thing, but it's not the end
Mhm.
of the world. So
Yeah.
that's when I think about risk, this is how I've gotten to be. It's like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Can I
Mhm.
tolerate that? Yes, go. That's how I look at it.
And if you do lose it, then it doesn't necessarily have to be considered a loss. We can consider it as a
A
lesson,
lesson.
right? What did we
Yes.
learn from that? Right.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's important.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
okay, so we were talking about 401k. So essentially that's the long-term game plan, right?
Yes.
Although there's a whole thing behind 401ks that aren't necessarily meant for retirement initially, but that's what they're used for. Okay.
Okay.
So now when it comes down to what I do, and this is what I often mention to people, I'm like, you want some today money? You want today money? So my job
Yes.
is to help people understand how to make today money. This
Yes.
week money, this month money, right? Couple of months money, however you want to situate your portfolio. But I leverage the stock market to generate income now. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
So I think it's important to also talk about the difference between a day trader, right, and someone who is a swing trader. Because
What was that
oftentimes
word?
day trader versus a swing trader.
Swing trader. Okay.
Swing, yeah, SWING. Yeah,
Okay.
swing.
Uh-huh.
Because I think oftentimes people have the perception when you think about a trader that they're sitting at their computer all day banging, banging away,
Yes.
watching the screen.
That's what I think about.
Yes, locked to their phones and things like that. That is absolutely not the case, okay?
Okay.
Especially for my life, because I ain't got time for that. I got a whole 17-year-old that's getting ready to go to college next year and a whole business, I got things going on. So I got time to get tied to the computer. So when you are day trading, then yes, that is when you are in the market for just that particular day. You're buying something, and then you're selling something the same exact day. All
Okay.
right.
Mhm.
When you're swing trading, and this is where I like a lot of my students to be, is on the longer time of things, right? You're buying today and you're holding it for days, weeks, months on end. Okay.
Okay.
So that is where we are allowing our money to just sit and simmer and work for us, but not necessarily that instantaneous
Okay.
result,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that everyone understands that, that myth out there that you got to be tied to something, watching every day. That's not the
Not
case.
true.
All
Okay.
right.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So how does that work? So I decide I want to, and first of all, I want to back up to where you talked about today money, and this is money that can be coming in. Is it not just a one-time hit? Can it be passive coming in every month? I've got money, or are you having to do trades and that kind of thing to make
Um,
that happen?
100%. So you will need to actually place a trade in order to have money and also get out the trade in order to have your income actually into your bank account.
Okay.
But there are a lot of different strategies that you can leverage. Okay. So
Okay.
let me talk a little bit about what I do,
Yeah.
and then I can also, answer any other questions that might be
Okay.
out. So I use my daily because I like today money, y'all. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. I like today money. So one of my strategies is I trade something called options. Okay.
Okay.
So there's a difference between stocks and options. Stocks is when we are acquiring ownership over a publicly traded company. So think Costco, think Boeing Airlines, think McDonald's, right? We
Okay.
can not just be customers in these companies, but we can actually own them too, right?
Okay.
So we would buy shares of stock to do that. And then we would benefit from them doing a good job. All
Okay.
right. So the more money they make, the better they do, the better our portfolio becomes. All
Okay.
right.
Mhm.
Now, that's stocks. With options, options are contracts. They give us the right to buy or the right to sell shares of stock. But we're not owning anything. We just have a right to buy it.
Okay.
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 So think of it like this. It's kind of like going to a car dealership to gain access to a car and actually own the car, right? Versus going to a rental car company and gaining access to a car in a short period of time. We got the right to drive it, but we don't own it. Okay.
Okay.
So it's kind of
Okay.
like that. All right.
Okay.
So what I trade primarily is our options where I have the right to buy a thing, but
Okay.
I never choose to buy it. I just benefit off of the use of it. Okay.
Okay.
So the strategies that I employ for my today money. So if anybody wants to learn more about options, I encourage you to research this because this is a strategy I love. It's called vertical credit spreads.
Okay.
Okay. And so I won't go into the details of everything, but it is an options trading strategy that helps me to accomplish my today money. Yeah, that's one thing I do. But also, I am a swing trader. So I am looking for opportunities where price is just going to rally over the long term. So I just buy and I just let it sit in the
Okay.
background. I'm either buying sometimes I buy stocks, right? If I want to own a thing. But most times what I do is I leverage options again and I'm buying something called a leap, which is a longer term options contract.
Okay.
Okay. So the expiration dates for that contract is like further out than what I do with my daily vertical credit spread trading. Okay. I mean
Okay.
trading, not trading, trading. Okay.
Okay.
So hopefully that helps.
Okay. An option is a contract.
Yes.
The contract is I can buy or sell, and I have to buy an option for a specific, an option to buy or sell a specific stock.
Yes. It could be a company. It could also be something called an exchange traded fund, which is an ETF.
Okay.
Or it could also be an index fund, which is something that will mirror an indice like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or the Dow.
Okay. So you can buy options for ETFs. You can buy options for, okay. All right. So I have an option
Mhm,
to buy or sell.
mhm.
And then is this might be a more complicated question than it seems like to me. When do I exercise that option? Is there something that I have planned beforehand, or do I just run it and then decide at some point in the future what I'm going to do? And what I'm getting at is strategy. How do you?
100%. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because sometimes people they just buy, right? They heard somebody talk about something and they just go in and buy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So absolutely. So this is what I share with my students all the time. There are three non-negotiables in trading. Okay. So one, well, four. I'm gonna add one. I'm gonna tell my
Okay.
students go one more. Our mind got to be right, number one. Okay. So when
Okay.
you're trading, it's important to make sure that you're in a good mental space. All right. If we're making rash decisions, rash judgments off of a feeling, that can be a recipe for a disaster. I'm just
Okay.
gonna be honest. All right. So we want to make sure that we're coming into this space with a clear mindset so that we can execute on a strategy.
Okay.
Right. So the other three non-negotiables is we need to always understand where we're going to enter our trade, where we're going to take profits, meaning we're going to make money and then
Okay.
transfer it to our bank account if we choose to.
Mhm.
And be if it goes against us, where are we going to cut the cord? All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So those three numbers are key when we're doing any type of trading. All right.
Okay. Okay.
So it is very much a pre-planned event, if you will, in order to trade consistently
Yeah.
with success.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like real estate investing, you have where I'm going to do it. And in stocks, it's what I'm going to do and why. And
Mhm.
then your exit strategy, whether you've made money, lost, you know where you're getting out. This has gotten too
Mhm.
ugly. Let me cut it right here because I said I could stand this to happen and now that's happened and we're done. And you
Yeah.
walk away and try not to have your feelings hurt too bad for too long because it happens. We get emotional. We do. It's like
Yeah.
we all do. And then
Mhm.
okay, let me get back in here because that was my plan. I was going to do it this way.
Mhm.
Got it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can pre-plan like how much you're willing to lose. So if you don't want to lose no more than $10, $15, you don't have to, right? You
Mhm.
can automate all of that.
Oh, it can
Mhm.
be. So that's why I don't have to be sitting here all the time. I can automate it and make it so that
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Is this hard to learn?
It is not. It takes a bit of learning new terminology,
Mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
So, but once you actually understand the skill and how to read a stock chart, it's a game changer. Like,
Yeah.
it's just something you can use literally for the rest of your life, regardless of where you are. You have a
Okay.
cell phone and an internet connection, you can trade. So I would say it's not hard to learn, but it does require you to learn some terminology and how to read shapes on a chart.
Just that's like in like every other thing that we've learned in our lives, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, whatever you're doing in life, you know there's jargon in your profession. And
Yes.
in trading and investing, whether it's real estate, stocks, options. I mean, many of you are probably like, option, what in the heck? And so these are it's jargon. That's all it is. It's
Yeah.
jargon. And in the stock market, Wall Street folks make jargon hard, and you're
Mhm.
looking just so that you can feel stupid. And Dr. Meadows here is here to make it so that you're not, you're not stupid. You're not, you already hopefully know that you're not stupid. And money, again, I said it before, is not hard. People make it difficult, but it's not difficult. And I'm going to say it's not easy, but it's doable. It just takes some time to learn all the skills. And when you decide you want to do it,
Mhm.
just like anything else in your life you decided you want to do, you did it.
Yeah.
Like, done.
100%. Mhm.
How long have you been teaching people?
Yeah, since 2017.
Okay.
Yes, and that was not formal, okay? It was friends, teacher friends, right?
Of course, that's how we start. That's how we
Right?
start.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. But I have been actively teaching, I would say, other people more formally around 2019-ish, and
Okay.
then I went full-time in my business in 2022.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
What's it's like my worst loss, lost 18 properties, ugliness,
Yeah,
worst loss, and how'd you come
yeah.
back from it?
Ooh, child. Okay, so okay. So worst loss has been 8K, all right? And what makes that hurt so bad is because I lost it over a $2 move.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
$2, 8K, gone, right? In a blink of an eye. Okay. So that hurt a lot. So how I lost it was I went against my rules. I went
Mhm,
against my non-negotiables. I was actually in a car
mhm.
on my way to get furniture. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this trade and make a little bit more money. I can maybe get some extra stuff, right? I'm all excited about the furniture and all the things. Well, I decided to trade the S&P 500, and at the time I was trading the index, not the ETF.
Okay.
So traded the SPW.X or whatever the ticker is. And at the end of the day, which I should have known this. I traded on a Friday, all right? The market just flew,
Mhm,
right? The
mhm.
S&P just flew. And so ultimately it crossed over my strike and all of my coins were gone.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was the most significant loss I've had.
And what was your lesson?
Whew. Child, don't be trying to do stuff at the last minute, like hopping in and acting like you know a little something when you know good well you don't need to be trading this on a Friday with trying to get a little cool. Like what? Like
You
yeah,
broke your rule. I have
yeah,
my rules for a
mhm,
reason. And when as soon
absolutely,
as we step outside that,
yep,
we
yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, mhm,
it cannot oh, it usually does not go well when you
right,
step outside your rule. These are the rules. I was looking at your seven mistakes and the whole emotions, letting emotions run the show, because that we can get
mhm,
emotional. Like, daggone,
yeah,
I invested in crypto. I've invested in crypto a few times, and I usually
mhm,
get in there and then it drops. And I'm like, I'm taking my money out. Like,
mhm,
how stupid
mhm,
is that? My daughter even said, "Mom, you know better than that." I was like, yes, I
yeah,
do. And so now you just got to sit there and watch it. What's the plan? We're gonna watch it, and like,
yeah,
I don't have a lot in there, but I'm gonna watch it and let's see if I'm learning. I'm learning all those candlestick things, and it's like,
yeah,
y'all, when you start looking at the charts, you're looking at what the heck is happening
mhm,
here.
mhm,
Like,
yep.
okay, I'm not
It's
even in a formal class. I just go on the site, the app site, and just start looking at it. It's like it's getting the triangle pattern or the cup
Yeah.
and saucer pattern. I'm like,
Yep.
the heck are they talking about?
Yep, yeah, but I look at it like a soap opera, right? I used to love when I was little watch soap operas with my grandmother, but it's a language, right? It's essentially the bulls and the bears, the buyers and the sellers, literally just going at it all day, right? So sometimes the bulls are winning, which means their prices are going up. Sometimes the bears are winning, and sometimes they're like, "Uncle, all right, cool. You think
Yeah.
price should be here? You think price should be here? Okay, great. Price is gonna be here, right?" And so I look at it like that. It's actually really entertaining to me. So sometimes you'll see me like in your chair, like, all right, bulls, let's go, Yeah, fun.
So you have a course and
Uh-huh.
you help people understand the lingo and understand all these things we've been talking about
Yeah.
and work through some of the fears that I know people who don't invest, and it seems like women are more afraid and risk averse, get past all those kinds of things. Yes. And it
Yeah,
doesn't take millions of dollars to start.
not at all. Not at all. Even if you can start with a couple of $100, 3, 500, what have you, you can start in the market, right?
Mm.
So, I think that's another misconception that we have is that the space is for white men in suits with big bags, right?
Yeah.
No, no, it's plenty of opportunity for everyone to be
Mhm.
able to profit. The most important thing is to educate yourself to learn how.
And to start.
That's the start,
Education
yeah.
takes you so far, but you
Mhm.
got to get in there.
Execution.
You got
Yes.
to get in there and start
Yeah.
doing it. I
Mhm.
love this. I've been talking about learning to set, calls and puts and so like, oh my gosh, it's like a whole
Yeah.
nother world to me.
Uh-huh. I got you. I got you. Let me know how I can
I might
support.
have found my teacher here because that's not, you don't talk too fast. You know how a lot of people in the stock market and in the trading, they just talk really fast. Right?
Mhm, mhm.
Like, okay, no, I don't have time for that. I don't have time.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
yeah.
Okay.
It's important to have, like, someone that can break it down in real life terms,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Because these words that are out here, yes, it's like, "What? What is that?" But yeah, yeah.
And the biggest thing is that I'm just like, we're not stupid. And by we, I
Mhm,
mean women. We are not dumb
mhm.
people.
Not
We
at
don't
all.
know everything, of course. And when you are interested in it, you have to, what we talked about going back, ask the questions. And
Mhm,
if you have a financial advisor who can't explain something to you or refuses to, or you feel like you got the pat on the head and say, don't worry, dear, I'll take care of it.
mm.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
time to talk to somebody who can explain it to you because
Absolutely.
everything is understandable. It just is. Okay.
Mhm.
So I know you have a book.
Yeah,
Let's talk about your book for a second. For the people
yeah,
that just want to start reading and not doing executing. So you can take a baby step and get a book.
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I wrote a book called Income on Demand, the complete playbook for beginning stock traders.
Okay.
I wrote this book because I wanted to have a conversation. As I mentioned before, when we first started talking today, I didn't have conversations about trading, investing, real estate, stocks, none of that around my
Yeah.
dinner table. And so I wanted to have a way that if I was not present or on a, master class or teaching something, that I can have a conversation with people to help them understand the foundations of how this thing works, right?
Okay.
What types of things that we need to understand to even select a good company to trade because there's thousands of companies out here. How do we know which one to select, right?
Yeah.
How do we understand the terminology behind it, right? And so that's why I created Income on Demand to do just that. And
Yeah.
so for those who read it, first and foremost, thank you if you decided to get a copy of it. But for those who read it, you will see within it's just me and you. It's me
Okay.
and you sitting there having a conversation.
Okay. So
Mhm.
to me, that says it's not from having our conversation. It's not big words. It's the words that you'll need to know,
Yeah.
explained by somebody who wants you to understand it
Mhm.
and move you along. And then you'll get to know her a little bit more so that you can then take that next step and purchase one of the courses. Because I know you're
Yeah.
teaching it also. Are your courses live or are they recordings or a combination of things?
Yeah, so something that sets me apart from a lot of others is that you get me. All right, you get me in my full glory, all right?
Okay.
So so yeah, so with my courses, any course that you purchase from me, you're gonna get me pretty much for all the courses weekly, okay?
Okay.
You will have conversations so in smaller group settings where we're talking about whatever the topic is for that particular week, right?
Okay.
So I have an inner circle, which is my more robust coaching program where I'm literally taking stock traders from the beginning of what is a stock, the foundations of the stock market, all the way up to advanced options trading to teach you exactly what I do on a day to day basis.
Okay.
So that is one way. And then I also have a lot of other free webinars that I offer too that helps you just understand the foundations of the market as well.
Okay. And I know
Mhm.
you're on Instagram because I think I've seen you there.
Yeah.
And TikTok. I don't go to TikTok so much, but Dr. Laquore Williams is out there in the world. So if you're a social media person, go get to know her, check out her
Mhm.
website. Say your website, invest to
Yeah, invest in the number 2, give.
invest.
GIVE. Uh-huh, yep.
Like it. Invest to give and money with mission. There we go.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
guys, oh, the other thing I was thinking about is trading, whether you're swing trading, day trading, is that a business? And can it be taken as like, and because I talk a lot about taxes and a
Mhm.
lot of W-2 earners don't have a lot of tax options. So
Mhm.
I know the answer. This can be considered a business. So you have to structure it like a business, and that helps you with some of your tax stuff that you got going on.
100%. I have a number of students who have actually done that. They put their and even when they sign up for my courses, they put it under their LLC as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
So yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And so then you start making all your money in your trading, and then
Mhm.
you got to have some place to put it so that it's like that's real estate and businesses come in. This all goes together, you guys. It's a continuum of keeping your money, building your legacy, and it just flows. This has been so much fun. I really, really like it. Behind you says Her Legacy Loft, if you guys aren't
Yeah.
watching it.
Uh-huh.
But this has been, I'm good. I'm so excited now to learn more. And I again started with crypto. So it's like, yeah, I got all out of the stock market because I got this makes no sense. It sounds so rigged. This is a way that it's not rigged. You actually have control over what you're doing. And that makes sense to me. We should control our money because nobody cares about it more than you do. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All of Dr. Laquore Meadows' contact information is going to be in the show notes, all the places you can see her, a link to her book and buying that on Amazon. It's all going to be in there because I know y'all are running around in the gym doing something other than sitting down looking at this. So go there, get this stuff. Just start, please. And I've been talking. It's like my frustration a lot of times is we talk, 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 and it feels like nobody's doing anything. And then I have some people in my community who then come and say, but look, if I hadn't talked to you, I wouldn't be doing this and this and this and this. Okay. So maybe people are doing more out there than it feels like. So let's go. Let's go, you guys. We got this. We got this.
Um,
It's going to take us. It's going to take us to make the changes. All right.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Meadows, thank you so much for being here. I really
So
appreciate it. It's been
such a
so
wonderful
much fun.
conversation.
So much fun. All right, you guys, I will see you next week on Wealth Be Hers.